Glasgow has the energy, will and commitment to become City of Architecture and Design 1999. Its people are justly proud of the city's past and passionately want to participate in creating its future. Glaswegians care about architecture and design. They live and work in a city that has reinvented itself time and time again.
Glasgow is full of surprises. It's a kind of wonderful collection, cornucopia of individual buildings, and one building after the other is basically a surprise. It's a discovery city from an architectural point of view. And of course there's a wonderful tradition of exterior, interior design and even object design. You know, it's the whole, you know, the house as a whole, the tenement, the terraces, the parks. I mean, the amount of green in this city is just amazing.
Each city has a distinctiveness, a uniqueness, a particular character. And the interesting thing about Glasgow, it has a character of doing things, of getting things done. What we want to do is to change Glasgow by design. That means the design in terms of strategy, but it also means design in terms of the physical environment, the social environment, the character of the place. This year of architecture will give the city an opportunity to re-examine some basic principles, to establish not only new things in the city, but to begin to enable people to look afresh at their own city, to become involved, to participate in creating their city for the future.
The city was the workshop of the world last century, and I think somewhere in the ideologies of Glasgow today, people still want to make things. They don't want to just work in service industries. Service industries alone can't create wealth. They can't create a fully balanced economy.
Barr & Stroud was a long-established but declining manufacturer in the city. With great success, it completely redesigned its architecture, redefining its products and its work patterns. Today, it operates from this award-winning building in Govan.
The main part of the new building is communications. You have a planner, a progressor and an engineer sitting beside you in the open plan cells. So if I needed an engineer to give me his assistance, rather than running to the engineering department to get him, he would be within my cell. So communications benefit greatly from it. The main thing which we've been synonymous with Barr & Stroud over the years has been periscope manufacture. We have also been world leaders in IR cameras, it's infrared, thermal imaging cameras. Those are the main backbone of our company. It's very apparent, I think, to myself and to anybody else who's visiting. We are a world-class company, and you can see that with some of the hardware that's about.
Good design is important in contemporary society because it can help us employ people, it can make money, as well as enhancing every single person's life. Design touches everyone, the environment touches everyone, so it's really important that we value that and learn how to use it and take part in it.
This is a city of grand-scale ideas with architecture and design to match. Glasgow has always reached out beyond Britain. In the revitalised merchant city, the Italian Centre celebrates another culture. It's an important statement revealing the international outlook which inspires Glasgow's architects and designers.
We attempted there to conduct a big exegesis on the nature of Mercury because, of course, the Italian Centre is on the edge of the merchant city, and this idea that there might be a patron deity to this part of Glasgow seemed to be something worth picking up.
The success of the Italian Centre has attracted leading fashion designers and retailers to the merchant city.
You can have exciting, large-scale statuary informing buildings and informing whole areas of cities. And on the backs of things like that, not only economic development can be achieved, but also a sort of moral development. Monumentalism is the true resort of sculpture. It wants to be big, and as a civic monumentalist, one has a requirement to work on a proper scale.
Sandy Stoddart is lionising two of Europe's greatest architects, Scots-born Robert Adam and his associate Gian Battista Piranesi. A massive monument in their honour is planned for the city's historic focal point, Glasgow Cross.
Well, the idea behind the monument is, in the first place, to give this great genius architect, Robert Adam, some reckon him to be the greatest architect of the modern age, a monument at last in his native country. And in the process, of course, do two things: monumentalise the architect and recover an area of the city that's desperately needing attention. In the 19th century, people went to Paris from Glasgow to see how to really build big. We're very keen on that idea. This question of Glasgow's tendency towards the big is one that we are naturally in tune with.
Over 50 housing associations encourage more than 12,000 people to participate in designing their homes in Glasgow. The tenement is reborn in the Reidvale Housing Association.
We invited a number of architects who had worked exclusively in the private sector to come up with ideas for the site with a view to getting a building which didn't have council housing or social housing written all over the front of it. The traditional view is that space is expensive. If you have bigger rooms, it costs more money. I think we've demonstrated in this project that that's not the case. You can create space within a building by not building certain walls that traditionally you would build, by using concepts which are very familiar in the private sector of the open plan, lounge, kitchen, dining areas, L-shaped rooms and features like this, which traditionally are not used in the public sector.
When I got the flat at first, I had them coming in carloads to see it. I've got a lot of friends in different places and I was just anxious for them to see it. And everybody thinks it's really something else. I feel it's improved my quality of life. I would never be able to afford to go into an area with a boathouse.
I think people in Glasgow are very interested in their buildings and in their architecture, in their city. They're very proud of their city. And I think that the demand to participate has been repressed for a long time. People were swept aside to make way for the planners who had a vision of how the city should be. What happened when the money ran out for that type of proposal? Almost by accident, the city stumbled on local participation in small-scale projects like housing associations, who began to stone clean buildings and do things that local people wanted, and discovered the immense interest of people in the city.
Glasgow boasts the first and largest Doors Open Day in Britain, where hidden treasures are revealed to a curious and inquiring public. Art schools, banks, city chambers, homes, factories open their doors and Glaswegians come in droves.
It's a day that absolutely appeals to the people of Glasgow because they've always felt the city belongs to them. It does belong to them, but on that day it manifests itself and they go and find out what that building does and who lives there or who occupies it or who worships there, what they do, what the interior is like. And the strength of natural curiosity amongst Glaswegians is massive. I mean, they just can't get enough of it. So it's a very easy day, it's a very simple day to do. Glaswegians generally, there's no doubt about it, are strongly participative creatures. They have to get in there. They really want to know. People should be curious, and they are. They're genuinely interested in what's happening.
Empowering present and future citizens to understand, appreciate and participate in the process of design in all its many facets is the priority in Glasgow's bid. Here in Mackintosh's magnificent Scotland Street School, now a working museum of education, art school students and school children come together to explore design skills. From pre-5 classes upwards, design is increasingly becoming a central component in education in the city. Inspired by the city's rich heritage, Glasgow designers are producing high-quality goods which are finding their niche in the global marketplace. The Engineering and Product Design course in the Glasgow School of Art uniquely combines design and engineering courses, producing students whose skills are tailored to the real world. Glasgow designers have explored a practical and integrated design approach in Maxaluna. 7 local artists have been closely involved with architects in creating this space with a distinctly European style.
Glasgow people are very style conscious. They react well to good clothes, they react well to good interiors. They are stimulated by things that are interesting, innovative and unique. And I think we've tried to do that in Maxaluna. There are a lot of very original and talented craftsmen based here in Glasgow, and we felt that if the interior could incorporate a number of them, it would be quite an interesting idea. The important thing to remember is that it costs just as much to do something badly as it does to do something well. And in the Glasgow context, we felt it was very important in developing an area of this nature to give them something special.
All aspects of life will be touched by Glasgow's approach to design. Muse is a bold initiative in which Glasgow museums will open their extensive collections to form a unique juxtaposition of museums and shopping. Muse will be an extensive, high-quality retailing operation wrapped up in a world-class museum, where clothes, carpets, furniture and a wide range of goods will be sold beside inspiring museum exhibits.
I think winning the bid is extremely important because it would influence strategy. It would allow the city to really plan and put some serious money and some serious mind power behind dealing with situations like unemployment, through building factories, through really integrating design and industry and design and culture.
If we can show that we can achieve, high quality of life in a post-industrial city, I mean, that's wonderful. I mean, then we are an example, aren't we?
The Millennium Tower is a vibrant symbol of the City of Architecture and Design 1999. This advanced and slender beacon will be one of the most visible endorsements of the city's confident entry into the 21st century.
What a successful bid will do for the city will be enabling the city to get to the next stage of its transformation, a city reinventing itself for the future.